This video is best viewed in full screen mode, and on YouTube that's this icon right here. And if you have a high bandwidth connection, it's best viewed in HD, which can be selected by clicking on this icon here and selecting 720p. This video goes over the reports capabilities of the judgment management system. The reports function is meant to be used in conjunction with the find function already built into JMS. For example, we got this new field here that I recently added called judgment assigned, and I use this for whenever a judgment is actually assigned to me. I check this off. A lot of the records I have in my database may be solicitations or records where I've sent out paperwork but never got it back. Once I've actually got the AOA back, I click this off here and for judgment assigned. So let's say first thing I want to do is I want to list all the judgments that have been assigned to me. So I'd right click on here and select find, and I search for records that are checked. So that's 17 records that return. You notice this is checked on all of them. So now I can go up to the reports function and say portfolio report, and I can select my sort field. I'll make that the case number, and the report title or portfolio, and I'm going to put assigned judgments. And here I can select whether I want to use the entire database, which would be all the records in the database, or just the current records that are selected, these 17 right here. Now all I really want is these 17, so this is what I'm going to select, and probably more often than not when you're using the reports you're going to select this option. And so I click on generate report, and there it is, pops up in Word. If you notice over here is the title, same as I typed in, and the title is also in the footer, and the date is in the footer. And here's your actual report. Case number, plaintiff, defendant. Scroll over a little bit here. And these are the statistics for each fields that we pulled out, I should say, for this report. And this here is your total due. And these columns up here are always going to be a sum of the items below. So right now there's a total of $83,974 due across those 17 judgments that are assigned. So I'm going to close that. Now I could also go here and say, well, geez, I want to find out how many ones in Texas. So I can say search current records for the state field of Texas. Fine. Now you see I got 3 records that were assigned to me that are still in Texas. So I can say report, portfolio report. I want to say that Texas, and generate report. And now I've just pulled up those 3 records that have been assigned to me in Texas. So the main thing to remember here is that more often than not, you're going to use the find function to filter down to get to the records that you're interested in, and then generate a report based on that. Another report we got here is the profits report, and in that case you're probably going to want to use the entire database. And then I did put this filter in here on this one report, which gives you the start date and the end date. And that's basically, it's looking for any payments received or any payments made between these dates. And I click on generate report, and there it is. It's a net profits report, and this is your date range that you put in on your filter. And this is just a demo database, but this shows 2 records in here. And payments from the judgment debtor is $700. Payments to the OJC is $100. Expenses that you've made, and then here is your net profit. And if you notice, on all of those reports, the totals are rounded to the nearest dollar. And the reason I've done that is because when you sum up all of these items, it could be a very long list, it just won't fit up here with the decimal point. And I didn't want to make all these fields wider than ones below, so I made a compromise and just rounded it to the nearest dollar. On this report here, in theory, if you put every expense that you had against a judgment in here, and every time you received a payment you put it in here, you could actually probably use this for your tax purposes to figure out what your net profits have been on all your judgments. Or you just want to see where you're at for any particular time frame. This would be the report you want to use for that. And then the next report is what I call the payments report. And that's something that you pretty much would use more in regards to information on this tab. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear the filters, and I'm going to find where that's checked, because that's going to bring me up everybody that's on a payment plan. And then go to reports, payments report, and I'm going to rename it generate report. And let me make this a little bigger so you can see it. And here you'll see you're same this on all of these reports: case number, plaintiff, defendant. And then this gives you the history, the last due date, the last pay date, and the last pay amount. Then the next due date, whether or not the bill was sent, and then amount due. And then this here is the total due on the judgment. Of course, you have the summaries above. But the idea of this report is just something you might want to use to keep track of people you're billing and how the payments are coming in and things of that nature. And also, you can also use this report function in conjunction with these built-in queries. So you go here and say need to bill JD. Brings up all the records that you have where you need to send a bill out to the JD. Now this happens to be only one record, but there could be 20 of them depending on your situation. So you can go to payments report, only use one selected record, and there it is. Obviously, if you were, if you wouldn't use this just to list one, but if you had 5 or 10 and you wanted to list them out, you would use this report to do it. So that's pretty much the long and the short of the reports. The main thing is, you generally want to filter out or do a find to get the whatever records is you're looking for, and then select the report that will pump out the fields that you're interested in. And hopefully that'll be a nice addition to the system. You guys have a good one.